People spend billions of dollars trying to fix skin problems, chronic fatigue, and brain fog with external solutions, skincare products, coffee, painkillers, without realizing one of biology's greatest ironies. All of those symptoms are nothing more than the smoke from an ecological fire burning deep inside their gut. The intestines are not merely a digestive pipe, they are a chemical reactor and the headquarters of the immune system. When that reactor fills up with toxic waste, the damage doesn't stay in the stomach, it seeps into the bloodstream and poisons the entire body. Number 1. Acne and stubborn acne scars. Around 70% of people who suffer from chronic cystic acne have a clinically measurable imbalance in their gut microbiome. What the beauty industry almost never talks about is the gut-skin axis. When your gut is overrun by pathogenic bacteria and rotting food residue, the intestinal lining becomes inflamed and starts to leak, a condition known as leaky gut. Endotoxins from these bacteria penetrate the bloodstream, trigger a systemic spike in insulin, and stimulate the production of substance P, a neuropeptide that specifically signals the sebaceous glands on your face to overproduce oil. That excess oil then traps dead skin cells and creates a new breeding ground for inflammation on your face. And the scars refuse to fade because your body is running out of collagen just trying to manage the internal inflammation. Imagine trying to repaint a wall that's covered in thick black mold. You can use the most expensive white paint available, coat after coat, but as long as the leaking pipe behind that wall is never fixed, the rot will keep bleeding through. That is exactly what happens when you apply skincare products to a body with an inflamed gut. Number 2. Bad breath. At least 10 to 15% of chronic bad breath cases that dentists can never seem to solve have nothing to do with the mouth at all. Here's the surprisingly physical mechanism behind it. Persistent bad breath is often exhaust gas from a dirty gut, caused by a condition called SIBO, or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. When the gut loses its ability to properly digest and clear food within a normal time frame, trapped remnants of animal protein and carbohydrates begin to ferment uncontrollably. Putrefactive bacteria convert these food scraps into deadly gases like hydrogen sulfide and methylmercaptan. These toxic gases don't just sit in the stomach, their molecules are small enough to pass through the intestinal wall, enter the bloodstream, travel all the way up to the alveolar sacs in the lungs, and ultimately get exhaled when you speak. The mechanism is exactly like a luxury office building with a burst sewage pipe in the basement. Instead of escaping downward, the toxic gas gets sucked into the central air conditioning system and blown into every room on every floor. Brushing your teeth in this situation is as pointless as spraying air freshener into a vent while the source of the stench keeps evaporating beneath you. Number 3. Body aches, especially in the morning. Systemic inflammation markers like CRP, C-reactive protein, in the blood can run up to 40% higher in people with a disrupted gut ecosystem. The sharp pain and stiffness you feel stepping out of bed in the morning is often not because of your mattress or your sleeping position. When a dirty gut shifts into a leaky gut, foreign molecules called lipopolysaccharides, or LPS, from the cell walls of dead bacteria seep into the circulatory system. The immune system detects this invasion and releases massive amounts of pro-inflammatory cytokines throughout the night while you sleep. These cytokines spread throughout the body and attack the synovial tissue in your joints and your muscle fascia. Think of your body as a peaceful city and your gut as a maximum security prison. When the prison gates break down and some inmates escape, city government responds by sending riot police to every corner of every street, firing tear gas indiscriminately through the night. By dawn, the escapees may have been recaptured, but the streets and the windows of people's homes are wrecked from the crackdown. That damage to the city is the muscle ache and joint soreness burning through your body every morning at 6 a.m. Number 4. Constant constipation. In a healthy human digestive system, transit time ranges from 24 to 72 hours. But in chronic gut dysbiosis, food can sit rotting inside the body for more than 100 hours. Constipation is not simply a matter of not drinking enough water. It is a mechanical failure at the cellular level. The wall of the large intestine is lined with smooth muscle that performs wave-like contractions called peristalsis. But those muscles need a very specific fuel to function: short-chain fatty acids, particularly butyrate. Butyrate is produced exclusively by beneficial bacteria, like bifidobacterium, that feed on dietary fiber. When your gut is dirty and dominated by pathogenic bacteria, butyrate production plummets. Your intestinal muscles are literally starving and stop moving. It's like trying to run a giant conveyor belt in a logistics warehouse during a complete power outage. You can keep loading boxes onto the belt, hoping they'll reach the other end, but without electricity powering the motor, the boxes just pile up, compress against each other, and create a total jam that shuts down the entire operation. Number 5. Foul-smelling gas. The average adult produces and releases gas around 13 to 21 times a day. That's completely normal. But when that gas has a putrid smell that makes your eyes water, it's a warning signal that should not be ignored. That extreme odor is the direct result of protein putrefaction. Under normal conditions, protein is broken down into amino acids in the stomach and small intestine. But in a damaged digestive system, undigested protein fragments slip through into the large intestine. There, scavenging bacteria and sulfur-reducing bacteria feast on those meat remnants, releasing byproducts like ammonia, indole, and methylmercaptan. This is no longer just a digestive system. It has become a malfunctioning toxic waste processing facility. Number 6. Constantly getting sick. Right behind the lining of your intestinal wall lives approximately 70% of your entire immune system, an army known as the gut-associated lymphoid tissue, or GALT. The experience of constantly catching colds, feeling under the weather, or dealing with vague bloating is actually the manifestation of a collapsing immune system. When your gut is overrun by harmful bacteria and the mucosal lining thins out, these protective immune cells are forced into a 24/7 combat-ready state. They burn through all available energy and nutrient reserves just to prevent gut pathogens from breaching the bloodstream. The result? When even a mild flu virus shows up or the weather shifts suddenly, the body has no reserve forces left to respond to the new threat. Your body, by analogy, is operating like a strong medieval fortress, but the soldiers inside have been exhausted for months fighting a brutal civil war in their own courtyard. When a small band of raiders attacks from the outside, the fortress falls easily, not because the external enemy is powerful, but because the main gate is left open by guards who have nothing left in the tank. Number 7. Poor focus and brain fog. Many people don't know that 90% of serotonin and 50% of dopamine, the chemicals that regulate happiness, focus, and motivation, are produced in the gut, not the brain. The brain and gut are directly connected by a high-speed neural highway called the vagus nerve. When your gut is dirty and inflamed, harmful bacteria release neurotoxins that hitch a ride along this neural highway, speeding straight towards your skull. Once there, these toxins cross the blood-brain barrier and trigger your brain's immune cells, called microglia, into a reactive state. The result is neuroinflammation, small-scale inflammation inside the brain itself. Neurons that should be firing electrical signals rapidly suddenly slow to a crawl in this inflamed environment, creating the phenomenon we call brain fog. In the end, true health has never been about how many supplements and creams you add from the outside. It has always been about how clean the system you maintain on the inside.